Hello and welcome to Codecast, the podcast that aims to give you a glimpse into the world of code coding schools. Join us for interviews with school alumni, current students, industry visionaries and other fascinating guests. I'm your host, Priit Koff. Enjoy! In this Codecast episode, we welcome Kaspar Tammist, the leader behind the initiative to set up Kood Järva in Paide. We'll also hear from Riita Nigul and Meeri Kurvits, who recently attended a very special Code Empower course aimed at attracting more women to find their path in the world of technology and programming. And our final guest will be Martti Praks from LHV, to shed some light on how the bank uses AI tools in their daily operations. Hello, good morning and welcome to the studio. Kaspar.
Hi.
How are you this morning?
I'm feeling quite well. It has been a rough couple of days, but everything is going totally uphill.
That's good to know. Let's get started by first getting to know you a little bit better. If you could just introduce yourself with a few words, please.
Yes, so I'm Kaspar, as you already mentioned, and I'm from central Estonia. It's a quite small town, just in the heart of Estonia, and that's actually the slogan of my hometown. It's the heart of Estonia. It's a nice, small place. I've been living there for my whole life, but I've been traveling a lot. I've lived in Tartu, in Tallinn, in Pärnu, a little bit abroad. So I've actually seen many places, but still there has been some kind of secret magnet that has been pulling me back to my home place. And I have stopped to resisting this and just going with the flow, and it seems to be the perfect way.
Okay, but what have you done professionally so far?
Well, I've been mainly working with the third sector or the NGO sector in Estonia. I've been a consultant for NGOs in my home county. I've been, as I like to say, I've been consulting NGOs from birth to death, basically before they've been founded and, all the way until they've, deceased or, cease to exist anymore.
To exist.
Yeah. And so after that, I've actually worked quite just a short time in Estonian Police Department, just to trying out how this side of the work is. And then my proudest moment up until now has been leading the Estonian Democracy Festival called Arvamus Festival, which is the main thing that my hometown Paide is actually known for. And it's a format that's actually based or made up in Sweden, and it started in Estonia in 2013. And from 2020 to 2024, I was leading the festival, and it actually brings more than 10,000 people to a city that actually habits only 7,000 or 8,000 people. So it's a crazy event for the whole locals and all the other people who visit my hometown.
And it's not just democracy that your town is famous for. It's also something else, something quite athletic. I think you're representing their colours today as well.
Yes, I'm really proud to be a huge fan and also a volunteer helping out my hometown soccer team called Paide Linnameeskond. There isn't a very good translation, actually, so let's just be it there.
Well, it's Paide City FC or something
City
like
FC,
that.
Yeah, that's right. So we can call it like this.
Well,
and
Paide Inter, or I don't know, Real Paide, something along those lines.
No, the colors are more close to Barcelona, but still, let's leave this discussion.
Let's leave that
to there. But it's a great team, has done many great things, and aside from sports, also they're investing a lot of money in the local community and working with youth, with kids, all the ages. We now have actually a boom of young girls coming to soccer practice, which is amazing. And, I think they're doing amazing work, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Well, that's good. But I think there's something else that you want to be proud of as well. I think that's the reason why you're here in the studio today. There is a connection between kood.tech and also Paide. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, please?
Yes. So on 13th of September, the Kood Järva, which is a new branch of the code schools, is starting, and it's super exciting. It has actually grown from the community, from the need of the community to have a school like this in my hometown and in the whole region, actually. Because if you picture Estonian map right now in front of you, then you have a school in Jõhvi and school starting in Võru. And now the school in Järva, which is located in the city of Paide, actually covers, half of the Estonia that actually is west from us, from the islands and the west part of Estonia. And it's super exciting. I will be the community manager of the school there and trying to work locally with all the students that are coming and with the businesses and maybe politicians locally to make this the best code school in the whole world.
So you will essentially be the heart of kood.tech.
Yes,
Just like
you can
Paide
say
is
that.
the heart of Estonia.
Yes, you can actually say that.
And well, we know who the founders of kood.tech initially were, but can you elaborate, please, on who are the founders behind Kood Järva?
Yep, the main founders at first are the local communities. So the Järva is actually representing the name of the county where the school is located. And the three municipalities in my county actually are one of the funders of the school and the founders. And then rest is the Estonian project money that the government submitted, that the government gave. And now we can start the school. But of course, the local community and the businesses and people must back up the school to have it stay there and really put their roots in the ground there. So the first months actually are really important to prove that the school is necessary, that the school is needed, that we have enough students coming and actually learning on site too. And after this, I think there's a bright future ahead of us.
Okay, well, but let's get to something that you just mentioned there. Why is the school needed? Let's talk about that.
Well,
what's the driver behind the local community there to actually get this coding school there? We're not going to ask why Paide, because we know the answer to that from your perspective. But why coding schools in Paide?
Well, the reason actually is that Paide is degrading community. People move away because we have very, very good high school there. We have we have a very good vocational school there, but still young people still go away from the community after they turn 18, finish high school. Most of them move to Tallinn, Tartu, maybe Pärnu to go to a university, and then they will put their roots wherever they go, and the connection with their home is actually is not so strong anymore. So I think to create an opportunity to learn something that is necessary now and more in the near future and in the far future too, is important to keep those young and cool people also in Paide, because I myself believe that this region has something so much more, so high potential. But all those different pieces that there are, the local soccer team, the coding school and other pieces actually is the good soil for something great to grow out of.
Absolutely. But what about the current industrial landscape of Paide? I mean, what kind of businesses are there? What's the economy like? I mean, is there a need for jobs like the ones that the graduates of coding schools can provide?
Well, maybe my answer is a little bit controversial, but I really believe that there's a need for the students, but the businesses don't know that they have the need. So there's actually a job of us to show them, hey, your business needs a person like this who graduated code school or who's currently studying there because, and we must point out the reasons, because the businesses in the region are mainly small businesses, local businesses, and we have some big farming or agriculture companies, and so actually they all need people with coding skills. But we have to point it out to them that, hey, in order to develop your business faster and better and more efficiently, you need these and these kind of people. And this is the work of a community leader at Kood Järva. So I see, my workspace is very wide, from working with students up to working with businesses and really pointing out that you actually need those people. And which is great, that if you learn coding, you can work for a company that is situated wherever in the world, but you can live in the best place in the world, which is Paide.
Okay, what makes it the best place in the world? Besides having a fantastic football team and also having the best high school and the best vocational school?
Well, picture this. You can send your first grade kid to a school by him or herself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also, this says everything for families, basically. It's safe, it's small enough that you can do stuff like this. You don't need to be a taxi driver for your kids. You have all the businesses, you have all the stores, you have everything you need there. And the capital of Tallinn is a 50-minute car drive away. So basically you have everything you need to have a great life, and you have more exciting things in Tallinn, but you still can live in a great small community that is safe, that is very welcoming, and that's, wants to thrive more.
It seems to me that in a way you're not only addressing young people who are just graduating from high school, but actually people who already have established careers and would like to make a career change. So that people who already have families and are growing tired of the day-to-day rat race in the city and would like to move to some place that's nicer, where exactly as you said, you can send your kids on their school journeys without having to worry about that. Yeah. So how do you intend to attract those people to actually move to Paide for the first time in their entire lives?
Well, this is definitely a hard job, but but putting all those pieces together, and I believe we still need more pieces to have the puzzle, perfectly put together. Yeah. But those pieces that we have been talking about are already set, and we need some other things for this place to really be a good place. Because, for example, right now it's not so easy to buy a place to live in Paide, which is, modern enough for a person would like to live in. But, let's not talk about real estate right now.
Actually, real estate is exactly what I wanted to talk about next, because I would like to know more about your plans regarding the campus. And are you going to have a dormitory there like they have in Järva, or what are your plans regarding the property aspects of setting up a school?
Yeah, I will come to this in a second.
Okay.
But first,
sorry about the interruption.
Yeah, it's totally fine. But first, yes, I think as important are the young people who finish high school and come to study are the ones who want to make their career change. Because if you want to provide yourself a better life, then I think Kood school is the place to go to. Just set aside this time from your life, this 1 year, and really put your mind and thoughts on learning coding. And after graduating, you can actually, change your life very much. So I'm really hoping to have both type of students there, because and also their collaboration and the teamwork between young people of age 18, 19 with the people 20, 30 plus. It's super interesting. The younger generation has a lot to learn from them, and vice versa. So I think it'll be perfect. But regarding the infrastructure or the campus and everything, then we have a house in the middle of the town that's actually been donated by the local grocery store big chain. They actually donated the whole house to our community to change it something better than it was before. So basically, on the ground floor we have a nice grocery store and on the second floor there will be offices and some other great spaces that you can use. There's some meeting cabinets and everything like this. And on the third floor we will have the school rooms. Currently we are in process of renovating them. Hopefully it will be finished, but probably the school will start within the first few weeks somewhere else in the same house. But the rooms will be perfectly fit for everyone to feel super welcome there and feel like this is the environment I want to study in and hang out with my friends, play board games, play Xbox, hang out, make yourself lunch and dinner there, and just spend your days there. Unfortunately, we will not have dormitory, but I have a plan from my past that we can use to find places for students to sleep.
Okay. And how many students do you expect to enroll in September this year?
In my head, the perfect number would be around 50. But as I mentioned before, we have a project that we still have to fulfill. And the project, the minimum number of students is 30. But 30 is very easy to fulfill. So I think and I believe that we will start the first year with 50 students and try to have every next batch a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. But the room, actually, the studying room is made, or architects have made it to be as big as 400 students. So actually we have space, we can grow, and we can expand. So there's no problem with space. We're just really looking for people to come and study in Paide.
Okay, but the school itself, I mean, when we talk about the educational aspects of that, will follow exactly the technology and the system that kood.tech has actually developed so far.
Yes,
so it will not be deviating from what is being done in Järva and will be done in Võru, and it has been done already in Sisu as well.
No, we won't. It's the perfect system. It's the perfect school. The whole way of learning, the whole trajectory that you're taking, I think it's perfect, and we will implement it the way it has been in Järva and the way it will be in Võru and in Järva too.
Okay, and there's one question that I've been asking mostly from the alumni so far, but I think it's a great question, and I'd like to ask this again. Where do you see both yourself and Kood Järva in 5 years' time?
Well, I hope still be working at Kood Järva, but I'm not a fan of working in one place for 25 years. So in 5 years, it'll be still perfect to work in Kood Järva. And Kood Järva, as I said, we want to be expanding every year. And I hope that in 5 years we will have first batch starting with 100 students, actually, because I really believe that the programming education is becoming more and more important, and it's our job to say it out loud and really show people how important it is and why is it important to learn it. And so if we are good advocates for it, then I think it's no problem.
But how do you think it will change the city of Paide in 5 years' time?
Oh, it will drastically change it, because dramatically change it. I meant, people, the local people, they will start seeing new people walking around in the city. They will see those people participating in community events. They will see them hosting events at the school, somewhere else outside, somewhere in the city. It will change dramatically the whole scene of the city. So, and if we get people to, the alumni to actually stay in Paide, move to Paide, then the changes are unimaginable, because great things happen when really people who care about their community move to those places.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more with you. Thank you very much for this very enthusiastic overview of the stuff that's happening in Paide, and wish you nothing but the best of luck. And I'm certain that we will be talking again, if not in September, then at least towards the end of the year, to talk about how your first batch is progressing. So thank you for joining us today, and again, best of luck.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello and good morning. I'm joined here in the Koodcast podcast studio by two lovely ladies. There's with me Riitta, and
Hello.
there's Mary-Lee. Good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning. Perfect. Nice
Excellent. It is a nice morning indeed. A bit misty, but nonetheless, here we are. So let's talk about your experience with Kood Coding School. So if I get this straight, you actually joined the very special edition of Kood, which was the Kood Empowerment version, which was all about focusing on how to attract female talent to the world of technology. So, Riitta, why don't we start with you? How did you first hear about this? How did this get started for you?
We had actually a great organizing of the event from my employer. I'm working at LHV, and they kind of had heard about this and arranged that it was a plenty of our employees, maybe 40 altogether, which were divided in between two groups, and then I joined the first group, and then basically we were offered just who would want to join. And obviously it was if something is made so easy for you, you obviously join. So it was made so convenient and easy that I decided to join, and I don't have any regrets. That's perfect.
That's good to know. But let's talk about your background as well. So you work for LHV, but What do you do there? What's your background?
I've been working in banks or in corporate life for the whole life. I have been working in Swedbank for most of my life, and the last 2 years I've joined LHV. I'm there. The official position is business development, but basically what I do is to help to build a better organization or offering for our retail customers, meaning that everything related to sales and setting up the organization in a way that we would be able to do more sales to our customers and attract more customers and activate the customers. So that's what I do. So from it's a kind of project management type of work right now, and it's being a constant kind of facilitator between the ideas from business side, what we want to do, and then to translate it to what kind of developments we need, and then how to implement all these developments. So it's a fascinating job that
it
I
is
do right now.
But you don't really have a technology background per se.
No, zero. I've
Okay.
been studying here in the same building in Estonian Business School, business administration. I've been actually I had a short journey also in Tallinn Technical University for mechanical engineering, but I didn't finish it. But basically, I don't have any IT background, any programming, so zero. But I have been working as a counterparty for IT or product development.
So you just wanted to understand them a little bit better.
Exactly. To understand how they work, how they think, how to kind of get closer to each other, and that actually worked out very well.
Well, we'll come back to that in a moment, but Merili, I'd like to hear about you as well. So what's your background and how did you join Kood, or why did you join Kood?
So my background, I also work at a bank, at Swedbank. So we don't have a lot of variety here in the room today. But I have a background in financial crime. So I've been in Estonia.
Hopefully fighting it.
Fighting it.
That's
Yes,
good to
thank
know.
you, Auntie. So I've been back in Estonia for the past 5 years, all of which have been at Swedbank within different roles. So that's both AML, sanctions, and internal fraud. So in terms of specific experience with tech, I haven't been in a role that requires that. I do see that majority of the next opportunities most likely will need to involve tech. And so there came my decision to try to find opportunities that would increase my knowledge in the field, to make sure that my doors stay open and I don't fall behind. And that was kind of the agenda for joining Kood Empower, but how it actually came on my road, if you want to say that way, then again through my employer, Swedbank, I know sponsors Kood as well. And so we were just notified through the employer that this opportunity is coming up. And if that's something that you're interested in, then apply. You had to kind of write a motivation letter, talk through with your manager as well to get their kind of support on the topic. And from there onwards, I got accepted and joined Kood Empower at that point.
Fantastic. That sounds really interesting. But coming back to the idea of understanding the tech world a little bit better, how did that work out for you? So do you now understand the tech world a little bit better? Do you understand your counterparts a little bit easier?
Yeah, I think it gave a lot of kind of maybe a basic understanding how this works. Now, of course, I've been working with IT guys. I love to work with IT guys. I know approximately what kind of tools or how it works out, but understanding the practicalities of how they work and what they precisely do, that actually became much more clear, and I gained a lot of respect towards their job and appreciation, and exactly. It's a heavy, it's a long, it's a sometimes very routine job that they do. So you get the kind of start to appreciate that much more.
Okay. And Merili, what about you?
I guess what I kind of got from Kood Empower to be specific, I definitely would say basic knowledge. I guess the 4 days are not designed for you to become a developer. That's not the whole point of it. I think for me, the most valuable feature that I received from the 4 days was getting to know the different roles, positions within the IT world, because there are very many. And if it is a field that you haven't had experience in, if you look at the job descriptions, they tell you very little. Mm-hmm. And throughout the 4 days that you were there, you got to meet and speak with different professionals from different fields within the IT world, who were able to just share in very basic terms so that somebody that does have no experience would understand what it is that the day looks like. So I think for me, it was kind of getting the background knowledge of what are the actual opportunities and what the days look like. Because for me, it was a very big surprise that you can work in an IT field without actually studying or kind of having specific IT knowledge. So that for me was the most valuable part of that, but I'm definitely not a developer in 4 days.
Okay. In a way, that's a relief as well, I think.
Yeah.
But just talk me through the program. How was it set up and what happened during those 4 days?
Shall you?
So I was on the second Kood Empower. Rita, you were on the first one. Mm-hmm. So on the second one, it was 4 days on site with very many wonderful women. And the days consisted of various different activities where we would have perhaps like a morning meeting to see where everybody is with their daily activities. Then we would have some time to do some actual coding tasks or very introductory basic tasks. In between, we might have like a little stand-up or a little get-together with some professionals from the IT field to hear about their stories. And then somewhere in between or in the evening, we'd have like a bonding activity. So we would get to know each other as well. And that took us through the 4 days. And at the end, we had a celebration and that was it. We were back to our normal life.
Yeah, I think the setup actually was extremely well designed for people like us, I believe. You're not coming out of your daily work if it had lasted, 2 weeks or every day a few hours. So the setup of having 4 days fully from 8 in the morning until 8 in the evening, full of organized events and the setup and the fact that actually there were only women together also was, I think, very useful from that context. And what I really liked was the program itself, that it's not that start programming something or someone gave you a task that you have no idea how to start, but it was set up with small, kind of math quiz or problems or just problem solving or solving small tasks which step by step became more difficult. So it was so fun, easy, challenging. Not easy in a way that you could do all of the tasks, but it grew more and more challenging. So I think the setup was really good for people like us and really for companies. I really suggest you send their people over to such a trainings or support and promote such a training.
Okay, but what about the group dynamics? This is something that interests me in a way, that it was just an all-female group. So compared to other groups that you've probably been a part of, not necessarily in this context, but still, did you feel something different, or how did it work out, or any comments on that?
I think for myself personally, prior to arriving, for me, the idea of having almost 100 women, maybe a bit less, in one space for so many days was a bit daunting. It's not something that I'm used to. It's not an environment that I have worked in, studied in. So I guess at the beginning, for me, it was very much daunting. I didn't know what to expect. But But I would say that disappeared pretty much on the first day, first half of the day, because the program was very much focused on getting to know each other, and you understand that everybody who is there has their own story, their own background. You get to know people like you would in a normal society anyway. Mm-hmm. The people were very much supportive of each other. So what I had imagined absolutely disappeared within a few hours. And overall, I would say very much a supportive environment.
Yeah, exactly. I was also a bit kind of skeptical in the beginning regarding this woman only, but I think it really helps or helped at least me, and then the kind of the team building or team feeling that you got there. No, that empowered. So actually the name of empowerment or empowered, it suited very well, because somehow it was so much. It was, in our case, we were a smaller group, I believe. We were, I think, maybe 30 people or so. And out of it, half were from LHV, so maybe the dynamic wasn't perfect, but we gained both. We had a good teamwork or got new connection from outside LHV, but we also were able to build within our own teams a much stronger relationship. So and this kind of woman only somehow made it such much more kind of harmonized and helpful and empowered, I believe. So I really like the setup as well.
Okay. And what about the social life? You did mention something in your social media posts about bunk beds and so. Would you care to comment on that? What was going on behind those keywords?
It was literally bunk beds.
Okay. Bunk beds can be a good thing. Well, if you're 5.
Yeah, exactly. When you were 5. I think last time I slept in bunk bed was, I was 12 maybe, in sport camps. So it was a new experience. But it wasn't absolutely as bad as I thought. So again, if you are in the mood, there was kind of, you are together in a battle. So if you are in a battle, you don't care exactly about your linen or pillow. So it was part of the thing. You just did it, and it was fun. Maybe it wasn't the best sleep I have ever had, but you just do it. So it wasn't the problem. But it was concept wise, it was a kind of wow, really, but it wasn't as bad.
I think for me, the last time I slept in a bunk bed was in the army. So that wasn't all that long ago. But it was very much nostalgic, stepping back in the room and seeing the same beds. But I was lucky enough to sleep on the second floor where I had one big bed. I occupied it very quickly. But overall, I would say a little bit of creaking from the beds wasn't, I guess that was the worst thing. But overall, maybe even a bonding experience. Again, the whole 4 days was revolved around doing things we've never done before or we haven't done for a very long time, learning something new. And sleeping on bunk beds may have ticked that box for a few people.
Well, sometimes magic happens outside the comfort zone. And if bunk beds are outside your comfort zone, then obviously that's worthwhile. But soup, that must be certainly in the comfort zone. So what's wrong with soup?
Nothing.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Absolutely nothing is wrong with soup. Our guts, our bellies were very happy about it. I don't think, even in my childhood with my grandma, I have ever eaten soup as often as I did. And I think my grandma would be very proud of me for having had so much soup. But the soup, what it's all about is that every day we got supplied lunch, which was wonderful. And it was a very heartwarming, gut-warming portion of soup. Every day was a different soup. So yeah, that's the story with the soup. I very much appreciate it. My body did too.
And actually, what it helped was that in the evening you actually were starving, and then the easier or faster you went out to a dinner. And what I was fascinating was to find out that Jõhvi is a perfect. It's a really nice town. It has so many facilities. It's so modern. There were so many nice restaurants. There were really good restaurants there. So it probably helped to build up that part as well. So I really loved Jõhvi. I haven't been there ever. It was first time, and wow, what a surprise.
That's nice to hear. But about this court experience, then what kind of an impact do you think this will have on your immediate lives in the near future?
Most probably I won't become a coder or programmer myself, but what it helped to was to kind of break the barriers of not even understanding, but the kind of having understanding what IT is or programming is, or what technology is. So I think the technology and everyday life for business and technology, they are getting closer and closer. There is no straight line anymore there. So the closer you get, the better you are able to deliver what you need to deliver. So it basically erased this line, and you are able to, I hope I'm able to kind of easier get into new, technologies or I don't know. No, I haven't yet tried out vibe coding, but maybe I would one day. I wouldn't be afraid anymore of that, or it doesn't sound like something that I would not be able to do. So basically breaking these barriers of trying new things and moving toward tech or kind of more solutions, building something, some solution on my own. So it's, I think, from kind of courage-wise helped me a lot.
For me personally, I, as well as kind of getting to know about tech, my other goal for Kood and Power was to understand whether coding would be something for me, and also whether the type of learning, the structure, would also suit me. So for myself, I kind of ticked the boxes, all of the boxes. So I quite enjoyed what we did. I feel like my brain very much enjoyed being frazzled majority of the day. And so I decided to join the sprint selection, which is what's currently happening, to kind of take it a step further and see how far I can take my brain, basically. So I guess for me, the immediate impact was the next step forward, which is now. And from here onwards, depending on how it goes through the selection, then we'll see if I will join the actual study program and maybe become a programmer in a year. Maybe. We'll see. But that's the current step forward.
Well, that's a very bold step to take. So I think a warm round of applause from our audience is very well deserved here. And I think on that very positive note, we can conclude this interview. Thank you very much for joining us in the studio this morning. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you both, and wish you nothing but the very best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for Kood for organizing it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank
you.
you.
Good morning. I'm joined here in the podcast studio by Martti from LHV. Hello, good morning. How are you? And please, to introduce yourself with a few words.
Hello, I'm Martti. I'm currently leading AI developments in LHV Bank. And my background is basically software development for the past 15 years already.
Okay, how did you get started in that world?
I studied mathematical statistics in Tartu University, and then I just joined one of the companies. At the time it was WebMedia, and just after that I was hooked. I wanted to build stuff, and this is what I've been doing for 15 years.
What kind of stuff have you built?
Mainly self-services, I guess, like it was the road administration, for example, for Estonia, Telia. I built something for Omniva, logistical services. Now for banks, so I think I've covered most of the industries that are doing something with the technology.
Okay, so during those 15 years, you probably have seen quite a lot of technological advancements.
To some extent, one would say yes.
What has been the most dramatic change in the last 15 years that you have witnessed in your career?
In the last 15 years? No, definitely. I think what is going in the past few years, this AI revolution is definitely something that you cannot just not mention.
Okay, how did the AI revolution stumble upon you, or how did you stumble upon the AI revolution?
Yeah, actually it was the COVID period. I was a bit struggling with my career. Thought that okay, I'm tired of what I've been doing so far. And luckily I got the chance to take a few months off, and then I went to study back in the Tartu University. I finished the data science curriculum, and with this I basically started using the tools and building different models myself, and that's when I got hooked.
Okay, now AI forms a very large part of your daily life.
Yep.
Okay, so what exactly is it that you do with AI at LHV at the moment?
Well, basically, I'm a software development team, so my responsibility is to find opportunities with this technology to, increase efficiency, provide some services. So I'm basically supporting our other teams and building the tools necessary to use AI in LHV.
What kind of tools are you actually using that include AI in one form or another?
No, the very basic and simple answer is it mostly started from ChatGPT. This was the revolution that many of people started from, and we as well. It was one of the first companies to provide enterprise services. And this is still quite common for most of our employees as well. But on top of the ChatGPT and OpenAI services, we use Anthropic, via AWS to some extent. We are playing around with Google Gemini. We have many different, let's say, code writing tools. I guess all of these large providers and some smaller ones like, Root Code and Codex and so on. And there are some, let's say, smaller things that we are also playing around, but I would not mention those. So mainly the main tools.
But what kind of products have you created? What are the use cases for these products that you've been developing?
Yeah. To be honest, I think mostly we can say right now it's internal stuff. So we are mainly focusing on this technology called RAG. So we basically are a really cool search to get the information that you need. And if you are a bank, the amount of information that you need to go through, for example, regulations, it's a lot. So I think that has been our main focus, helping our employees retrieve the information faster and let's say providing in the correct context, because there is so much information, and just making it organized is I think our main goal. So that's definitely one of the, I would call, products, because there are different let's say chatbots, there are different I guess chatbots is the main feature, but there are some integrations into processes as well.
How do you ensure the trustworthiness of these AI products that you have developed there? Because from my own experience using different AI models, then I have discovered that every once in a while it just gives you complete random stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with the real world or real life. So if your bank is going through a huge amount of information, how do you ensure that the information that comes out is actually valid?
This is a struggle, and to be honest, I always say that the fact that the model lies or hallucinates, that's a feature on the bug. So that it makes it interesting, for people.
Sure.
So this is part of the system. But yeah, it's a struggle, and in the end, it means that basically these are helpers. They are not making the decisions for the people. They are just gathering the information, and in the end, you should still, if you're using the information, you should check the sources and do the work to some extent, checking the work as much as possible. So, but it's still it's difficult if it's like you have everything there, but the problem is that it's a very small part of the information is just missing or incorrect, and how to discover it. It's still a struggle.
Because you also have to ensure the validity of the data that you put in there, because it's garbage in, garbage out.
Of course. But I think the approach mainly is that it's like a good way to provide sources. So I think that's really helpful if you can help provide the source where you find it and just provide the context around it. So you will get some background and then you go to the source from the helper.
So, but when you are developing these products, then how do you validate which product can be actually used in real life and which are the ones that you completely discard and think that this will not work? I mean, you have to have some sort of validation process in place.
Yeah, to be honest, cool answer would be that it's gut feeling, but in reality, it's analysis. I think the main keywords are that any AI system is additional complexity, and this is something you want to avoid as long as possible. So that's one thing, and the other thing is how much can you like work with partial information? Basically, are you okay with getting incorrect answers? Do you have some methods to control this and so on? So I think these are the two main topics to consider. If these are okay, everything else is just like resource planning. Like, are we able to do it? Do we have the people? Do we have technology and so on? So everything else is very normal system building.
I think you touched upon a key thing there, which is the people. That's have you had to retrain your people to be able to use these AI products the way they're intended to, or have you had to lay off people because you become more efficient and you don't need as many people, or does this actually mean that people have to work harder because not only are they getting the data, they have to confirm the data as well, just to make sure that the answers they're getting from the models are actually correct?
I think in general it's definitely helping, but if you want to point how exactly it's helping, it's really depends on the use case. So it's hard to say like in general. Regarding the people and training, yes, we have tried to train all of the employees that we have that are using it. We have different levels of training. I guess it's like an ongoing struggle because it's not a thing that, I don't know, you participate in a 1 hour training and now you're sufficiently aware of all the AI problems. No, but there are many levels. I guess for the people who are building this stuff, it's one of the things perhaps I do deal with more. So we have like voluntary stuff where we share information, play around with cool projects, invite people to talk about what they've built and what have been their experiences. So I guess it's a lot of experimentation, to be honest, because yes, you can learn something from the online sources, but applying it is still the key thing. If we would talk about, let's say, the increased efficiency, then yes, definitely there are some cases where I would say it's a helper, so it makes somebody's work more efficient, meaning they can deliver more, they can build cool stuff faster, but it's still like a helper, so it's not a replacer. And it's now, if you're like talking about on a scale that we are doing more, do we need more people? I guess it mainly means probably that you are not hiring that much anymore. But this is all like theoretical, and it all depends on the volume, what you need, and so on. So I'm on the boat that says that with all the technologies, all the efficiencies that come, there will be new challenges ahead, and there are much more new things to discover and work with. So I don't believe that this is really making people unnecessary in the workforce. So.
Well, that's good to know. But how have the non-techie people on your staff actually grown accustomed to using these new features and products?
It really depends on the person, but there are champions definitely who are using it a lot and doing really cool things. People who are just, I guess, really fond of trying tech stuff. You don't have to be knowledgeable, but you have to be able to use it securely. And then there is definitely people who, let's say, I guess are afraid or don't want to change, or no, there are many reasons. So overall, for example, this ChatGPT example, right now, I think the number is about 70% of our employees are actually using it. So there is definitely cases when perhaps some people haven't heard that they can use it. No, it's always in a large company a possibility, or they just don't know about this. There are people who see that it's not useful for them. They might be using it like at home, but just work-wise, so their everyday tasks, they don't see it relevant. But out of this 70% of people using it, no, most of them are using it very heavily. And like multiple times a day, not less.
But what about the security aspects? I've heard that using AI tools inside a very large organization can sometimes be seen as a security threat as well, in a way. How do you balance that?
Of course. But every information system, in some sense, is a security vulnerability if you're not dealing with. So there is that layer. I guess the training and in the end, in most of the cases, the risks come from people, not from the systems themselves. I think the main question is data protection. How do we ensure that, as a bank, that our customers' data and everything else that we hold securely is not used publicly or in the wrong hands? So we have different layers and different tools are for different use cases. So there are tools where you can use it internally, where this information is not exposed. And then there are some tools that have just limitations how to use it.
Okay. So, but hypothetically, the next time I come into your bank and ask for a loan and I get rejected, or somebody says that, no, you're not getting this money, I can say that, can you please check this information manually because maybe ChatGPT made an error here? Would that be a valid excuse?
You can always try it. But no, we live in European Union where many of these things are very highly regulated. And loan is a very good example where basically all of the things going on in background, it's fairly secure and there is very little opinion involved. Or so I would not worry about if you're getting a loan, whether that is just some ChatGPT like system that said that you don't get it. Okay. So this decision is not done by AI in that sense, but it definitely helps in some of the processes. So
it's not likely for me to get an answer the computer says no.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I hope so as well.
If you get that answer, please let me know, because this would be a problem. So this will need to be dealt with.
I certainly will if it ever comes to that. But let's talk about the future for a second. I mean, you've been in the industry for 15 years and you've seen what's been going on in the world of AI during the last 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Then where do you expect this to develop? In which direction, and what kind of advancements can we expect over the next 5 years, for example?
You mean in AI in general or in banking?
In AI in general, and then also in banking as well. Actually, that's an interesting take.
Yeah. No, the hype is really strong. I guess the latest news regarding GPT-5 and so on, to be honest, I think there is a lot of hype ongoing, and this hype doesn't really live up to the real life anymore. But still, there is a lot of value in those tools, in those features. We're still, as a industry, trying to figure out what this value exactly is. My money, the boring answer is efficiency. Like we talked about, all this, let's say, automation, trying to automate many things that weren't automatable before or just weren't feasible to automate. So I think this is definitely the main impact of all this technology. If we're talking about banking specifically, then I'm really hoping and betting on that we are able to transform the experience for our customers. Change the fact that you're not talking to some bank which is talking its own language, very complex sentence and so on, but it's transformed more like personal. You can say personal banking, it has been a term for some time, but I do hope that this technology is helping this to bring on this revolution and make the interaction with the bank much more user friendly, so that the user itself is the loan example. So you don't get complex responses, you get the response that you understand why you didn't get the loan and what you should do to get the loan. So I think there is much work to be done, and they will definitely help there.
Okay, well, that's good to know. But let me touch briefly on another topic, which is more related to kood.jõhvi and kood.tech in general. That obviously you work in teams, and you do see new recruits coming in all the time as well. So is there still future for young programmers out there who are getting started in the world of software development? How do you see that career path developing over the next 5 years?
I still think there is future. There is still need for human to be in charge, to make the decision in the end. Yes, it's a bit more difficult to start. But for example, this summer we had 2 interns in my small team, and I see that they're progressing quite well. So I think it's still definitely really important. I guess the changes in the volume if you look at the overall market, and perhaps that will be affected a bit more.
Okay.
But we still need engineers. We still need engineers, and I think in a few years' times as well. So, for example, I have kids. My son is 13 years old, and I keep telling that if you learn to solve problems, then you will definitely have a job in the future as well. That's my belief.
Well, I think that's exactly what they're trying to teach here at coding schools as well. So, on that very positive note, I think we can conclude this interview. So, thank you very much for joining us in the studio today, Martti, and wish you nothing but the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to Koodcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show, and please make sure to visit Kood's website for further reading and other episodes. Remember, it's kood.tech. Once again, kood.tech. Be seeing you.